And we're live.
We are back.
Back at it,
It's hardly romantic. It's your girl G,
right?
um, with some more stuff. We got these advice that we're trying to give relationship wise to people.
Mm-hmm.
Doing our part. You
We're doing our part to help save the world.
know. All right. So today we have a post from Throw R. Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
She needs our advice today, and she's asking. She says, "My husband is really hard on our boys." Hold on, let me share this screen. Can you see it? There you go.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
My husband is really hard on our boys.
Mm-hmm.
He fears they will be soft and not ready for the real world.
Soft.
He's trying to be like strict father, tough love, but it's really unnecessary. My husband late father sounds like my husband's late father sounds like a menace when he tells childhood stories.
Mm-hmm.
But he credits his father for all his successes and thinks it was a good thing.
Okay.
He fears that the boys will be entitled and soft rich kids that don't know the real world, the value of a dollar, and
Facts.
etc. Example, if one of them trips and starts crying, instead of comforting them,
Mm-hmm.
he'll say something to the effect of, "Stop crying. I wasn't allowed to cry growing up."
Facts.
And that's just one example. I try to get it through his head that his father was abusive, but because he's so successful and started from the bottom, he believes that it was due to his father's parenting.
Okay.
Whenever I say we won't be doing that in this household, he rants, but I'm going to raise soft boys, and I don't know what I'm doing, and etc.
Okay.
He truly believes that his father did what's best for him, and he deserves all the credit.
Right.
I don't know what to do anymore because as the boys get older, the more extreme he gets with his behavior, and I won't let him mirror his father.
Okay.
So,
Alright.
so she closes it up by saying, "Husband thinks his abusive father was good for him. I don't want to raise kids like that."
Okay. So here's where I go on this, right? So first of all, it's like a null and void point because at the end of the day, she's with him, right?
Mhm.
So his father technically raised the perfect man for her.
Mhm.
So off rip, it's like you almost gotta, you have to give his father more props because whether you know what I mean, like whether you agree with his style or not, the end product brought you a man that you wanted as far as you know what I mean, like this guy,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Two, it's like because these are boys, I feel like you gotta almost like just chill and let the father do his thing because it's boys. I feel like if it's girls, let the woman. I mean, you as a man, you sit back and say because let's say like when a girl's going through like her period or something, you know what I mean, 12, 13. As a man, you don't know what that's like, but the woman's gonna know what that's like.
Yeah.
So like whatever she says to you, you kind of like fall back and listen to that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just a respect thing of like who's more in tune with what's actually going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily agree. I think that, well, for her, she's thinking that he is the man he is in spite of his father, not because of him.
Okay.
It takes two people, I think. Some people can just, be who they are despite their circumstances. They just, they come out better. And some people, it can go either way.
Yeah.
My grandmother raising me, she didn't beat me a
Right.
lot. I didn't.
But I don't think he said anything about physical abuse. I think she was more pointing towards like mental abuse.
Well, either or abuse in any form. She's saying is, we can talk about all forms of abuse.
Okay.
But what do you think? So you don't think spankings can be considered abuse?
Yeah, no, but I thought here she was more like leaning because of course if let's say if one parent believes in spanking and the other one doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
that's a problem. But I think that she's more in the gray area of like what she considers mental abuse,
Yeah.
and mental abuse is like always like a gray area because it's like I feel like even when I play sports, all sports is technically like a mental abuse almost, or like going to the military, like you know you go to the military, the army, they break you down. You know what I'm saying? Like they're
Yeah.
gonna make you do push-ups. They're gonna call you nothing and say that, and it's just part of preparing you for the real world, and you know what I mean, and toughening you up.
Yeah.
So I feel like you know, like if we take all that away and you just raise kids and people that are too soft and too affected, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like life is tough, and you have to learn to go through life and not be affected by everything that happens to you, and just constantly be affected. And I feel like when you're soft, that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like he's trying to, because the world is going to teach those kids that lesson regardless. So I feel like he's trying to teach those hard lessons, and then when he teaches those hard lessons, he's going to be there to walk them through the solution of it. Like
Yeah.
okay,
I realized this weekend when we went hiking that I'm not ready for any boy kids, especially.
right,
Because we went on a hiking trail. Yeah, and it was very, very, very scary. And people had their little kids out there. It was very dangerous to me. And my heart was beating so fast for these kids. And I could only imagine how I would feel if it was my kid out there. So I know that you look at that differently. Like, yeah, man, bring them out.
So what if you're like a boy or a girl, whatever, you're a human being and you don't scuff your knee until you're 25 years old? Like you've never scuffed your knee in your life. You never felt the pain of like breaking skin.
Yeah.
Like it's not, that's
But
not,
it's different with the rough playing and then just, throwing them off a cliff. Or, I know that some people like learn how to swim by throwing them in the lake.
and that's the only way to learn how to
Uh,
swim for kids. Like that's what they do. That's why I think what they do is like they tell you like when you send your kids in, they say no parents allowed because they toss the toddlers into the water, and most parents can't see that. But it's kind of like the professionals know that this is like the babies are gonna float regardless, and it's gonna teach them. And I've seen it on YouTube. Like I've seen
Yeah, it's
like
scary.
yeah. So
It's heart throbbing.
hmm?
It said heart throbbing, like happy.
Yeah. So but let's go back through it real quick so we can really break it down.
Okay.
A deep dive.
All right, so we are looking. She says she's 37 and he's 45.
Mm-hmm.
And their boys are 13, 11, and 7.
Right.
Okay. So she says
Yeah. Nah. Go ahead.
she says he's hard on the boys.
Mhm.
Can you hear me? And he fears they will be soft and not ready for the real world.
Okay.
He's trying to be really strict.
And that well, that's what I was saying. Like if the whole thing is that the parent wants to put you in a position where they're going to now teach you how to handle this situation. You know what I mean? So it's like they're gonna purposely put you in a bind. See how you handle it. When you start crying or whatever, then you talk them through it. That you don't cry about this. This is how you handle it. I don't know. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So he's trying to give the tough love, but she feels like it's really unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
And when she hears story about his late father,
Yeah, and I want to say this. I think women are usually like, well, not all, because I see like some women that just don't care about nothing. But I feel like you can't just have a woman's perspective trying to raise a man. You know what I'm saying? All the way, and I feel like at the end of the day, she is gonna be a little too soft. You know. But yeah, go ahead, dog.
and yeah, she said the husband's late father sounds like a menace
Mhm.
when he tells of childhood stories. But he said he credits the father for all his success and thinks it was a good thing.
Yeah.
So her perspective of the stories that he's telling her about her father is different from his perspective of his father. So she hears a story and he's just like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? He did this and that.
Yeah.
And she's just like,
But those are the
"Whoa."
moments that make you who you are, though. Like all the things that you would not go through if you had to choose, but you had to go through, and then it's like perseverance. You made it out alive, and you're still here to tell the story. I'm sure he's not gonna allow the kids to, like do anything that's gonna be detrimental to their health in the future. But like I said, like it's just like when like I had to deal with things like, let's say when I was dealing with my daughter, and it was like she would fall and like might cry. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like get up. Like you're not like necessarily. I don't think there's nothing wrong with me saying get up, stop crying, right? Because to me it's not like you're not like, did you die though? Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not dead. Nothing really crazy happened to you. You know what I mean? So it's just like get up, like just get up. You know what I mean? Like and handle that. You feel me? But I don't think every single little thing has to just be always like, oh, let's just roll out the carpet because oh my God, you scuffed your ankle. You know what I mean? You twisted your ankle. Okay, it's a twisted ankle. You're gonna wrap it up. You're gonna ice it up, and you'll be back out in a week or whatever, 2 weeks. You'll be back out in three months. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? And I feel like we can't make every little thing a big deal.
But you can actually nurture a wound, like nurture. Like I think to be able to cry when you're in pain is good. I don't see it as a bad thing. If you're hurting and you feel hurt, then cry.
I think,
if
but
that's what you need to do.
I think it's more about levels. You know what I mean? So like it's like if you're gonna cry for this, what's gonna happen like when something really bad happens, or when you're like really in pain? You know what I'm saying? Like
that too.
Right, but what I'm saying is it's just about levels. It's just like it's how you react to different levels of variations of things. And I think that like one thing about life is like you could always tell what somebody's been through or go through by how much they panic, because crying is like a panic emotion, right? So it's like how much do you panic when small things happen to you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's like, so it's like if you're gonna cry over like a cut on your elbow, it's almost like you gotta remember, like you're trying to raise, these are boys, but you're trying to raise men, really, right? And men have to lead, and how are they gonna lead when they're leading a brigade? You know what I mean, in the military, and they're crying because they scuffed, they got a scuff on their elbow. Nobody's gonna respect that. They're not gonna respect them. Like that's just what it is, because we're human, and we're just not gonna respect that.
Yeah.
No matter like what you like, you know what I mean? Like if they should or if they shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to toughen them up, get them ready for things, and you have to lead. There has to be one person, and I feel like this might be a thing too, because like I think the man has to be calm and show a level of like strength. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas I mean women also show that too, but I feel like as a man you have to be like a pillar of strength for the family. And so like when everybody's panicking in the room, they're looking at you, and if the leader is panicking too, then everybody else doesn't feel as secure and safe. So no matter if you're bleeding or you're going through whatever, you have to show that calming sense of, yo, everything's gonna be all right, y'all chill. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you can't just run to be crying and da-da-da. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And what else she says? He fears that the boys will be entitled and soft rich kids that don't know the real world and the value of a dollar.
So I just actually saw, remember that the guy, I think his name was Kevin, the dude from Shark Tank? They actually just got back to him. Huh?
Kevin O'Leary?
O'Leary, yeah. So I just seen that he's joining like a few other of these mega rich guys who aren't passing the money down to anybody in their family, right? Like they're not passing the money
Bill
down
Gates
to.
said that.
Yeah, because you create people that's too soft, and it goes back to something we was talking about yesterday, where it's like you end up not being like the regular person, you know what I'm saying? So you're not like them. So like now if you low key just have like $10 million in the bank, regardless, you can't really go out and grind like the other people, because you don't have to. They're not even gonna really respect you, like, you know what I mean? Because it's like at the end of the day, it's like, yo, you know what I mean? Like they're not gonna respect you. They're gonna be like, yo, you don't gotta be here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you could, why don't you go home and cry to daddy? That's, you know what I mean, that's what
Yeah.
they think. So like, so you know, it's like you don't want to raise kids that are entitled, yeah, and those types of things. So
And yeah, so, and then, let's see what else he says. Then she talks about if one of them trips and starts crying, instead of comforting them, he'll say something like, "Stop crying. I wasn't allowed to cry growing up."
what do you think about that? Being allowed to cry, not allowed to cry, like you,
Well, I guess it's different for guys. I don't know.
Mhm.
Like for me, I had toughened up, you know,
Yeah.
by the time, and then I just didn't cry about anything. Like
Right.
it was like I was just this stone cold person that wasn't affected by
so
anything.
so you don't think tough is good?
No, no. I mean, I guess I don't know about men.
No, I'm just saying, just
Yeah,
in general,
I think
you
it's.
know, you
I
don't-
didn't. I like the version of myself now that is more vulnerable and allow myself to feel.
okay,
I don't like the tough thing that no matter what happens, you can't penetrate me.
yeah,
You know, I didn't like that. It was just like,
okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. I get it, I get it.
yeah. So
Oh.
I don't know. Guys. You know, and I was, dating one guy one time where I was more of a man than when it comes to emotions than he was, because he cried about everything.
Yeah.
And it was just like, man up kind of thing. You know. So
But and that's what I'm saying.
I know. I'm agreeing with you.
So
on
do
certain-
you no
certain-
right?
I was like, when it comes to men, you don't want to raise a soft man. You want a man to be able to have more emotional control, to be able to, handle situations with calmness instead of dramatic, like,
Yeah.
women. But you don't want them, I still wouldn't like a guy to be so stone cold where you can't feel anything. I don't think that was good.
Yeah, I mean, extremes are never good on either side. But what we're talking about, skewing in the middle and skewing to the which way you're gonna skew to. You want to be more emotionally tough than
Yeah.
just to be affected by everything
Yeah,
and say like, oh, it's cool, it's okay. Da da. You know what I mean, like, nah,
yeah.
got to be like emotionally tough.
So she says, I tried to get it through his head that his father was abusive, but because he's so successful and started from the bottom, now we're here. He believes that it was due to his father's parenting.
It probably was though, because listen, when you started when you from the bottom of anything, the thing is you don't get respect because you're at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
You don't have like all the luxuries of like already being en route to wherever you're trying to go. It's a grind. It's all those things. So it's like you have to be tough. You know what I mean? You can't go home and cry because somebody didn't want to buy, like if you're selling hot dogs or something, they didn't want to buy your hot dogs, or somebody like smashed your hot dog cart or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that can't stop you. And the only way that those type of things can't stop you is if you're emotionally tough
Yeah.
and mentally right. You know what I'm saying? I think that's way better to be like that than to be somebody who's just like every little thing. It's like, yo, God, you know what I mean? Like even if you're part of a team and let's say you play football. I mean, I've been watching NFL all day. So like you play football and it's just like, you're supposed to just, the thing is emotions do this. They take you away from the focus, right?
Okay.
And and what the plan is and where you're going. So the more you stop to think about how you feel, it's you're not focused. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's why like even like like I said before, if you go to the army, you have to focus on what it is you have to go out there and accomplish, because that moment to stop to think about how you feel could get you killed. You know what I'm saying? So like at the end of the day, what you're really doing is you're trying to teach the kids focus. Is the job done? No? Okay, come on. But I feel like, but I hurt. I don't want to hear about what you hurt. I don't want to hear about what you feel. Is the job done? No, but for real though, like that, you know what I mean? Like that's how you get things done in this world, because the universe doesn't care about how you feel.
Yeah.
things happen exactly how it's gonna happen, and it's not like, oh, how do I actually feel about this? When you stop to think about how you feel, you're no longer focused on your goal.
So what do you, in a situation like this when their parenting styles are so different, like how do you navigate through that marriage?
Um, I always thought that, not only this, like let's say if people got two different religions, right? Somebody's a Muslim and the other person's a Christian, like that's right. These are all things that that go outside of the like love that you have for that person. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I think, like I said, like I think that like the mental aspect of it is a really a gray area. You know what I mean? Because something that one person could see as abuse is not, but it's just like when it's physical, you know what's abuse. You know what I'm saying? Like you know if you hit a kid or whatever. But when it's mental, it's like
Hard to dissect.
yeah, it's just hard. It's a gray area, and I think for them being married, how they deal with it. Like I said, I feel like you have to, you the woman has to let the man raise the boys, and the man has to let the woman raise the women. Like that's just what it is. Or I mean, had to let the women raise the girls. That's just what it is. Because at the end of the day, you got to think like, who knows more about what's happening, what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a kid that's in school or whatever, they're going to school. You can't like it's like those things where like you raise a soft boy or like a soft kid, and nah, it's alright. Come through. We're all thinking we but yeah, you do have but anyway, what was I? Oh yeah, well anyway, all I know is that we shouldn't be raising soft boys. I think that in the marriage, the only thing that they have to do is come to that type of agreement. You know what I mean? I mean, I know it's everybody's kids. You know what I mean? The woman, but the agreement. I feel like that's a decent compromise. You know. So, at the end of the day, that's where it's at, and I. It's alright. It's alright. Going through some technical difficulties over here. I mean, it's alright. That's cool though. That was a good one. It was a good conversation. It was. I say like I said, let the men raise the men and let the women raise the women, and then also compromise and give both people the ability to step in when it's needed. So like with me, how I feel as though like let me raise the boys how I see fit to raise the boys, but then also I'm not gonna tell the mom not to come in and show them love. You know what I'm saying? So it's like don't tell me not to put them through boot camp. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying like I'm gonna put them through boot camp.
Yeah.
But then if you want to come and make them cookies at the end of the day and all of that, that's cool too. You feel me? So you show them the tender love and care and all that stuff, and I'm gonna show them the other side. Like, yo, this is real. This is what it's gonna be. This is how it's gonna do. So it's like, I think my thing is like, don't get in the way of my style, and I won't get in the way of your style. Cause I don't think it's also wrong for the woman to show them a softer side. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you know what I mean? But like I wouldn't be like, why are you giving them cookies? You know what I'm saying? I would be like, when y'all done with them cookies, we going out and running 5 laps. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
That's just what
drill
it is.
sergeant, damn, checking
Yeah.
in.
So but yeah, that's why I stay on that. And you, any?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm more in agreement with you. I just know how hard it would be for me to see my child being tortured.
Yeah. Right.
It would be.
Do you think that's enough to cause a divorce? Like at what level do you think that is okay to?
Um, um, I, 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 like just different parenting styles.
Mm.
It's tough. Um, I mean, the two people should definitely have somewhat of an understanding of who they're dating. Like, I know who you are, and I know how tough it would be for me to see you torture my child.
Right.
But I also know who I'm dating. So if I have a child with you, this is what I'm signing up for.
Yeah, but you don't know that. Like
I
you never
do.
know. No, no, you never know things like that until afterwards. Like you gotta remember, there's like a deeper core of everybody. So like when you sit there and you meet somebody, you meet a side of them, but you don't necessarily know what they are, what they're like as a father. Or this is why like women meet dudes all the time, and they have a baby with them, and then never see the dude never takes part in the baby's life, and they be like, oh, but you didn't know he was like that. Like, no, she didn't know he was like that.
Yeah.
Because you never know how somebody reacts to something outside of themselves. You know what I'm saying? It could
Yeah.
be the most giving person to you, or whatever, but
Yeah.
then that doesn't always transfer to a
Someone-
child or
yeah,
somebody
like
else.
You
You
could
know
be a
what I
great
mean?
husband, but a terrible father.
Yeah, and vice versa. You
Or-
could be a great father and a
Father.
terrible husband. So
Yeah.
you know and then you don't know because it's you know what I mean. You unless you already have the children with the person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you know that's just
Life is funny.
yeah.
You just like you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, no,
And
you,
then just
yeah,
figuring
you,
out how to deal with it and make navigating through.
yeah, you never ever know. You know what I mean, you just hope for the best, and then there's like a million, billion different outcomes that could possibly be. You know,
Yeah. Facts.
all right,
That's all I got.
that's all you got.
Mhm.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow.
Yes.
Peace.